Hello everyone, today I'm gonna disassemble this GR-B200 Gravitymaster quad sensor master of GG-Shock watch, so you could, well, I don't know, change the battery later in the future when it runs out, because it's not so powered. It has 4 sensor plus Bluetooth function that gonna drain a lot of battery. Number 2, if you wear this watch, you're probably gonna need to clean it up. This is more of an outdoor watch, so dirt might get underneath here. Clean it up is the way to go if you want to maintain the condition, or if you want to make sure that this thing lasts you longer. Now, if you want to change the battery, seems pretty easy, right? Just remove these 4 screws on the back, pop it up, change the battery. But in order to do that, this band needs to be taken out because the back plate was hidden or slipped underneath the band. You cannot just take it out like that. It is using 1.5mm hex screw on the side. So let's remove the strap. It is pretty much the same, if I'm not sure about the size, but it is the same type of locking mechanism used on this GG-B100. And I'm going to be using this watch as comparison because, surprisingly enough, they both have a lot of similarities. Well, they're pretty much identical to be fair. Now, if I remove this screw bar, you can see there's a washer on the side. This is to prevent these screws from loosening up due to vibrations. On this Mudmaster, however, more of a land use, so you have a lot more mud resistant structure, a protection from mud. And okay, I'll just remove 4 screws, take this band out just like that, right? Nothing else that holds it in place. Unlike this guy over here, there's a pin and there's this slot over here that holds the band into place. So this feels a bit more solid in comparison to this, but this, you know what, they're still the same thing, just built differently. That's the easiest way for me to put it. But for this buckle, however, it is slightly different because it is, well, plastic in comparison to this Mudmaster, this metal, and it is pinned inside like that, so it won't be easy to be removed. Unlike this guy, just, you know, push the pin in there. Also, this is proprietary design. You can't just find this replacement. If you break this plastic part, you're gonna need to contact Casio to get it replaced, so gonna be pretty expensive as well, so take care of your watch. Right now, here is the inside of this watch. Let me take it out, put this back plate on the side. If I zoom out a little bit, you could see here is the Mudmaster version, and the back plate are exactly identical, except this one has a plastic case at the bottom of it to prevent from rusting. And here's the interior component. Alright, even the O-ring are exactly identical. The interior components are exactly the same, the function are exactly the same, except the screws, the build, the body, the purposes in which these two was built is totally different. Okay, let me put this back plate aside, and let's take this white cover off. All right, exactly identical. Let me put this thing over here, put this aside, and the movement are also just the same. So in order to remove this movement out, there's this sensor ribbon over here, right? Just unclip that here, both sides, and just pry the movement out. But be careful when you pull the thing out, because there's a sensor ribbon over there which is very fragile. So, and there we go. So the movement are exactly identical, like I already said. Possibly, you know, if you like this faceplate design, if you like the hands, if you like the look of this Gravitymaster movement, you could technically put it in the Mudmaster casing and have yourself a Mudmaster, I don't know, helicopter inspired design. The function is exactly identical. The button operation fits just fine, so everything will works. So basically you now have a Gravitymaster with a mud resisting structure. Pretty cool, right? Also, one of the best things of having a similar movement like this is looking for replacement parts later in the future might be coming easy, because there are 2 similar models, so you could just have fun with them. Alright, done removing all the screws on the exterior part. Now we could take this cover off for the light button. There we go. Basically the front bezel, I would say, it is separated just like the Mudmaster version. They have separated bezels to make sure the watch didn't look as bulky. Some people didn't like that, but you know, I'm totally fine with that. It is a carbon core model. You don't need a lot of protection anyway. The casing itself is already strong enough. So there's that, and here's the upper side. Excuse the nails, guys. I've been doing a lot of painting job, so yeah, black and white. Anyway, here we go. We could remove this ring already, which I'm gonna talk about later. But right now, notice that there's no more screws, but I cannot take this part out because there's actually 2 more screws on the inside. So if I want to remove this part of the bezel, you're gonna need to remove all 3 buttons, and then you could take this part. I'll show you guys afterward. But right now, I'm gonna talk about this ring a bit because the last time I disassembled, I mean the Mudmaster, say this guy, I broke this, but this is not it. I already sold that piece, but this is a new one. Basically, they're the same thing. It looks the same, but this one has a bit more gloss finish to it. I don't know if that makes any difference, but this one you can't flex it. If you flex this thing, say you know, play around with it, it will break. It's pretty fragile, but in this case, it is slightly more flexible. If you look on the underside, they're exactly the same, but some reason this one is more flexible than this one. Okay, as you can see, there's the alpha gel plus on the inside of the watch for shock absorption, which was pretty cool. So I already done a 2 minutes tutorial video showing you guys how to remove this e-clip. So in here I'm just not gonna focus on that as much because this is pretty time consuming, but if you have the skill you could pretty much do this thing in a couple of seconds only, like do that. Taking them out is pretty easy. Putting them back on, so that's the tricky part. You need to have a lot of skills, basically just experience to know how much force they're gonna need to exert so that it won't flies out. In this case, look at that, pretty quick, right? So push this shaft all out, and let me use this tweezer, push them all out. 1, 2, 3, there we go. All the buttons are out. This one is metal, this one is plastic, this one is plastic with metal shaft, of course. There's a lot of detail goes into the construction of this. Look at that, all 3 different buttons. There we go. That's the screw there I was talking about. And let's see now. There we go. Just a tiny screw, one over here and one over here. There we go. And then we could remove this thing. So it is pretty flexible, so you could, you know, remove this pretty easily. I've already said how to change the battery. It's pretty easy, you know. Pretty much every G-Shock has same construction. All you need to do is just unclip this part over here. Wait, there we go. Look at that. My cat's already come back from outside. Come here. Okay, there you go. And that's the battery that we are dealing with. And let me just pull the sticker out. Okay, take it out. It is operating on CR2025. So this battery, Panasonic ones you could buy a buck of 5, you know, a strip of 5 for like $3-5, basically $1 pop, which this thing expected to last about 1 or 2 years. So if you do this all yourself, you're only gonna spend like $5 for 10 years to come. So you save a lot of money. If you send this away to Casio, you're probably gonna charge you like $30 every time you send out your watch. Plus you could clean it up while you're doing it. If you send it away to Casio, they're not gonna clean your watch. They just change the battery and they put it on as it is. So keep that in mind. Alright, here are all the mess that you can make out of this GR-B200, which is not a lot. Alright, to summarize, this is how everything looks like. Some screws, the band, bezel, 4-piece, a ring, the body, the movement, everything goes in here. The complicated parts is in here. The rest, just exterior component, guys. You only need to take care of this, okay? And as a bonus to those who's wait or watch all the way here to this very moment, I got a replacement parts over here, a white and I would say some orange, just third-party parts, which I would recommend you to get because I don't think Casio will be releasing a lot of colors. The upcoming models that will be coming out in July will only be in, let's go just black and gray, you know, just plain colors, neutral color like that. So if you want something fancy, something more colorful, you're gonna need to find a third-party replacement parts for that. So plug this in, there you go. That is how mine would look like. If I were to attach the strap, it will look something like that. Well, not the best look, but yeah, you could change the bezel up to, you know, perhaps find a transparent one that will look much better. This is just an idea, something that you could try, you know, if you own one of these. Perhaps, you know, just spice things up a bit, make your collection much more interesting. So that'll be all, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys in my next video.